I kind of sprung this on you. It's going to take a few minutes for folks to get in. But, God, this is... My office is starting to be... What is this? Will this help?
Make your browser fast.
No, not much. I have to change my glasses. There we go. Let's turn off the do not disturb. And we'll just wait for folks to come in. A lot of people have been saying they haven't been getting their notifications. Even when I do them like an hour in advance, they haven't been getting their notifications until like the live stream is almost over. Right? So we'll see. Hey, Jane. How's it going, sweetheart? Spring has sprung and second winter is gone. When I tell everybody. So everybody's like, it's spring, it's spring. It's like, no, don't. Let's get the snow tires off. No, don't take your snow tires off. People take the snow tires off and we get dumped on. But now I'm pretty sure that's all over. Hi, Jane. Hi, Kathy. Alicia, Jay, Minnesota farmer's wife, Julie. YouTube and Messenger. Okay, I try and send them out on Messenger. What you're seeing here is this is starting to come down. But today is tax day. So I'm avoiding it as much as possible. Yeah. I have to get my taxes done. Well, not done, gathered up for my accountant. Hang on a second. Let's pop this chat out. Oops. Pop this chat out. So, hi, Shandy. On time for the first time in a long time. Laundry day. Oh, my God. I got so much to do. I'm tearing down this room. I'm starting to tear down this room. I might do that on my patron stream today while I'm talking to them. And yeah, Gracie's skinny and gimpy and limping all over the place, but she's doing better. Like, she's never going to be the Gracie that we knew a year ago. Okay, she's had a really bad illness. We still don't know what it was. But we are, oh my God, we're giving her probiotics. The vet gave us a prescription of her pain pills, and she gets probiotics and her pain pills and her food. And so she's eating every day. And I thought she'd need to be eating more than a pound. And it's not for her size. She because cousin Angie's dog, Broly, is a full-size golden retriever, and he eats 2 pounds. And she's less than half his size. So, but if we can get her to eat a whole pound, we're lucky. So, we went out yesterday afternoon and bought her some more food for this week. And, oh, God, I hate this time of year. I'm going to spend the next 2 days going through all mine and Howard's pay, mostly mine. Howard's taxes are easy. I hand in his notice of assessment, like his T4 slip. Me, I got to sit down and add up all the hydro bills, all my property taxes, my mortgage payments, everything I've paid, everything that I've got in on PayPal from, like, I got to claim all my Patreon money. My $200 a month Patreon money, and my stuff like that, right? And hey, Pinecone Collector, hello, Robin Rose. So and then I have to add it all up because I can't I gather all this stuff up, and then I go through it and I add it all up and I send it, and then I gotta again figure out what size my house is for footage and all that fun stuff. Because my house, I wonder if I should declare the groceries on the grocery haul videos. I don't know how that works, but I am doing them every payday just to show people what prices are like. So we'll see. But this is the nightmare, right? It's not just a matter of handing in your mortgage statement, handing in your property taxes, handing in your T4 slip. That's all it would be for Howie. For me, it's everything, anything. Square footage of the house. How much of the house do I actually use? How much of my hydro bill do I use? How much of my property? And it goes on and on and on and on and on, right? So we'll see. We'll see. But it's a day. It's taxes. It's probably going to take me a couple of days. And then this later on today, when I'm on my patrons live stream, I'm going to be starting to tear this all down. Yes, this is. I've got to start somewhere, and if it means I already have, I've started tearing down sheets. I might actually get Howie to see if he can't hook up a bigger television, because I'd like to keep that one. That's hooked to my security cameras. I'd like to keep that one, because if my bed's going to go here, then I can lay in bed and watch TV here. Yeah, I think that's what I'm going to ask him to do. Hey, Joe Mama. Robin Rose. How's it going, Joe? I'm in pain. I was just telling everybody I have to start my taxes today. I'm starting to tear this down today. I'll probably be doing it during the patrons live stream. And I still have to transplant my leeks. And I have to I have to take everything off my table in my bedroom, move all my laundry baskets of clothes, take everything out or off the table, move it over there, move everything over, so that when this is all cleared off, Howie can take my desk in there. We're building our chicken coop. Okay, well, where do you live, Rebecca? Like, have you? Okay, I gotta ask, have you ever raised chickens before? So scans and chemo this week, and Scott has cataracts real bad that need taken care of. They're going to worry about cataracts. I guess, it's about quality of life at this point, eh? Like, I mean, it's one thing to be, terminally ill. It's another not to be able to, at least do a crossword puzzle while you're waiting. You know what I mean? Huron, Michigan. And have you ever had chickens before? Because, I mean, I started out backwards on so many things, but I learned a lot over the years. So if you live in Michigan, is there any woods around you? If there are woods around you, then bury your pen fence a minimum of 18. Hey, Sybil! Bury your fence around your pen a minimum of 18 inches deep, and put some strapping and some chicken wire over top. Because, hi, Journey, raccoons will get in there. Raccoons love laying hens. So you got to make sure they're in every night and that their doors are locked. A talented accountant can make anything a business write-off, strictly following the letter of the law. No illegal funny stuff or blurring the lines. They're worth their weight in gold. I know. I've had a good, mind you, I keep paying more taxes. Like, how much time do I have left on my Quebec taxes from last year? Where are they? I am missing a clipboard. I'll have to look at it. But I'm pretty sure I'm still paying Quebec taxes until August. $500 a month. I just finished paying my Revenue Canada from not last year, but the year before. So this is going to be 2024. I just finished paying off 2023's. And now I'm going to work on 2024's. Oh, that's wonderful. That's wonderful. So I guess it's up to me. So I've got to, like, I've got a whole bunch of car parts for Howie's car that I paid for. And I've got the receipts for those. That's now when I pay for those, that comes as I add those up, and that is my advertising that I pay for on his car at the beginning of every season. 5 acres. So much more expensive than the US. I don't know how this could be sustainable. It's not. It's not. And if Mark Carney gets in, like I'm seeing memes like, Pierre Poilievre saying, we're going to axe the tax. And Mark Carney, a picture of Mark Carney going, already did. No, they have not removed the carbon tax. They have paused the carbon tax. And what they're going to do is when he becomes the official prime minister, or if the Liberal Party gets in, he's going to make it worse. He has always been in favor of upping the carbon tax. And he said, we're just going to do it on big businesses. All that trickles down back to the customer, right? Hey, Bucket! Part of our flock last year, the raccoons unlatched 2 latches on our coop door and got in. We had to put a lock on the door. Yes, I'm telling you, I had raccoons get their hands in. They're going after eggs. And then they will kill your laying flock, digging the eggs out of their butt. Do you ever notice people are saying a lot on things like the censorship, especially on TikTok and YouTube and stuff? They're saying unalived instead of the SU word. They're talking a whole new language because of censorship, and it's wrong. Hey, Mary Jo. So, I've been warning you about this for months. The big switcheroo is coming. I am old. I am gimpy. It's going to take time. This will soon be my bedroom. But it's going to take a lot of physical work that Howie and I have to do together. And getting him here to help when it's on time, now that spring's here and everything is race car. My AA sponsor, eh? Her and her husband were like Howie and I were just, but her husband had one thing he did every year, and it was moose hunt. And so from the first frost until the moose hunt started, that's all we ever heard about. Moose. And Bill, moose. God rest her soul. My sponsor's dead. But that I get it. Cars, race, track, NHRA, racing, from now till Thanksgiving. So, okay, Corey, go ahead and ask. Hey, Charlene. Hi, Kaysen. Is it Kaysen or Sayson? Kaysen. So, yeah. Did I tell you? They came knocking on our door. And Howie's in his boxers, and I'm, in my nightshirt. But there's a stranger. I look out the kitchen window. I say, Howie! This is how often we get people knocking on our door. Howie, there's somebody at the door. Who is it? I don't know. Get your clothes on. So I run out my nightshirt, which is down to my knees. And they said, we got a request for you to put a progressive conservative sign, but you already have one. I said, I don't care. Give me more. And they started laughing. And I guess apparently down the highway on the side of someone's garage, if you've seen my Facebook page, you'll see the big Pierre Poilievre Bring It Home 2025 conservative insignia. Well, somebody's got that in lights on the whole side of their garage. And at the bottom it says, we need change. right? I made him so happy. Oh, well, I'm glad. I'm glad. I planted some herbs and pepper plants and tomatoes. At the end of the month, well, as soon as Easter's, oh, I would love to show you Bubba's Easter basket, but I don't want it getting back to anybody. You know what I mean? So I'll show you his Easter basket Thursday night. Okay. Hey, Edie! I planted some herbs and pepper plants and tomatoes in containers here and outside the kitchen window. Do I put them in direct sunlight or is it okay for them to be in the shade? It depends on the herbs. You'll find patterns for people who make spiral herb gardens that raise kind of like a hill. And because they all kind of, I've always put them in more sun than shade. More sun than shade. That's all I can say. But I don't grow herbs very well. I'm getting used to it, but I mean, parsley and I get along okay. And chives and I get along okay. But, but I think I am going to grow some. What I want to do is, the railing Howie built me out by the pool. Not the one on the porch where the roof is, where, the first pile of wood goes. It's the new railing he built. And I want him to put me some flower, like screw me down some flower window boxes on the railing. And I'll put my herbs in those. Yes, I live in Canada. Absolutely. I live in Western Quebec. Unfortunately, mon français n'est pas bon. Je comprends mieux que je parle, but that's about it. Bonjour, au revoir, merci beaucoup, derrière, bonne journée. That's it. That's the extent of my French. A flower box railing. Yeah. I think, but it's going to be herbs. It's going to be, rosemary and parsley and maybe some lettuce, depending on how many boxes I get and how long the railing. Got to be careful, though. That's why they've got to be screwed to the railing, or they are, and then maybe we should put some holes at the edges. Or they're just the first time somebody grabs the railing to jump in the pool. They're you know what I mean? No, Linda. See, well, it's too early. Well, maybe. Well, I've sent them this. Corey said, maybe you can shake them up and send this to them, but I've sent it to them. It's just fairly early in the day, right? So, yeah. This week is going to be this next couple of months. Okay? From now until the May 24 long weekend, this is my world. Plants, and moving my office. No, you don't have to borrow it. Go ahead, stand it. I'll just get Howie to get some of them long planters and get Howie to screw them down and put a few holes in the front edge so that it doesn't drain out the screw holes and discolor the railing. But here's the flower box. Okay. Here's the flower box sitting on the railing. It's screwed down in, and this is where the front of the railing is. And we put just a few little screw holes in here to let the water drain out, any extra water to drain out and not all over your deck. You know what I mean? This is the first time in a long time, folks, I cannot plan anything what I'm doing. I can't plan anything because planning is a pain in my butt. So I'm going to be going into my bedroom shortly and starting to move stuff around. And so I can start tearing stuff down in here and taking stuff down. I'm going to be doing a live reading after this. Hey, Jennifer, how are you? Oh, hang on a second. Okay, Corey, go out and come back in, please. So yeah, while I do readings or lives or anything like this, you're just going to see the magic of this room start being torn down. So I've been watching you since 2009. You've been an inspiration for all my canning and for raising chickens. I love you best. You truly have been a blessing to me. God bless you. Well, honey, no blessing more than your own. You guys have blessed me so much. Just showing up every day, just keeping interest. I'm not a fascinating person. I'm just living life, and I'm not a professional. So guess what? When my life changes and I have to adapt to it, you guys come along for the ride. You know what I mean? Hey, Kimmy, how's it going, sweetheart? Hey, Wendy. Okay, I've been wanting to share with you guys, Corey, go out and come back in, sweetheart. I've made you a moderator. Wendy, I wanted to tell you guys, Wendy, who's waving there, is my sister. Single parent. Hey, skadoosh! Trying to get by. Hope enjoy the sight. Terminator, my crooked little homestead. Good afternoon. But that's what we like. You're real and honest. Well, thank you. Well, here's what I got to tell you. Okay, Wendy's very sick. Wendy's been sick for decades. However, everything has been so slow moving that when it finally catches up, it's like everybody's like, what? What? You've been sick forever. No, Wendy's got a blood thickening kind of cancer that is now starting to be an issue. Correct me if I'm wrong, Wendy. And it comes from her bone marrow, and it gives me the creeps because it's very much like you remember Miss Moving On 04, Gloria? She died of something similar, and it was a blood cancer. Okay. And Wendy's going to be starting doing monthly blood transfusions because her blood is getting too thick to pump. So there's also the fact that part of her large intestine, the part they go in with the colonoscopy, it was damaged. What was the year, Wendy, of your surgery? Wendy had a ganglion cyst. We've talked about this before. She had a cyst that wrapped around her large intestine. And every time the cyst produced fluid, it would go. Okay. There's the part here. Here's the part of the intestine that comes down to your sphincter. Okay. And it was somewhere around here at this bend, and it was wrapped around her large intestine. Hi, Brenda. I'm explaining this now because we've had, Wendy's been talking about this for a while, but I haven't really expounded on it until now. Okay. So what happened was she had a cyst, and it grew and it wrapped around her large intestine. And they couldn't see it because it fell down behind stuff in her hip, by her hip. And every time the cyst produced any kind of noxious fluid, it went through and around the bowel and into a bag. It was forming a bag. And every time more fluid got in the bag, it tightened off her bowel more. Okay? 1987. Thank you. No, Wendy, it was not 1987, darling. Because Arthur was born. Remember Arthur running to greet you in the hospital? He was almost 2. So that was 1989. No, wait a minute. That would have been 1990. 1990, just before I met Howie. So, because Arthur ran to you in the hospital. And Arthur wasn't born in 1987, right? So anyway, it was 91. Anyway, one day it got so bad that Wendy, our family doctor, our old family doctor, told Wendy the secret. Well, back then, I don't know what it is, if they go by it now. Stay in the emergency room. Refuse to leave. If you stay there without being seen for 24 hours, they have to admit you. So they ended up admitting her. And we were all showing up at the hospital because she was dying. She was dying. She had a glazed look on her face. Her son and I took her to a meeting, and we sat on either side of her because she was like this. And we'd do this, and she'd sit up. And then finally, they kept saying, "Oh, you're not going to have," I remember this really clearly. "You're not going to have surgery," Wendy said, because the surgeon came in and seen her, and he said, "We're going to look after you. We're going to look after you as fast as we can." Then you take a bath, because my mind is mush right now with diverticulitis and colitis. I'm nauseated. Okay, so you're going to take a bath. Okay, sweetheart, I love you. I'll call you later. I wanted Wendy here so that she would validate what I'm talking about. Okay. So, what do you mean, nope? Nope, what, when? You're going to have a bath? I don't know. Anyway, the surgeon came in and saw Wendy, and he said, we're gonna look after this as soon as I get an operating room, basically. It got chewed by mice. The 100-year-old quilt got destroyed. And I can't talk about it because it breaks my heart. Foxes and raccoons, 9 ducks. Oh, yeah. Raccoons love ducks. Anyway, let me finish this and we'll talk in a minute. So this is where Wendy may have said something that you heard before. Okay. And by the way, is my camera back to normal? When you look at me, hey, Jazzy. So anyway, the nurses kept coming in and bringing her food and bringing her meds and all this stuff. And Wendy said, "I am not taking anything by mouth." And they said, "Why?" Because she said, "Because I'm having surgery in the morning." They said, "No, you're not. It would be on your charts. La, 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 la." Oh, well, it flipped for TikTok. I'll have to figure it out. Anyway, the nurses kept saying, "And no, he's not going to operate. We would have heard about it. It'd be on your charts. La, 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 la." 9 o'clock that night, the nurses come flying in. "Have you eaten anything today?" La, 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 la. "No, I've had nothing by mouth." "Okay, you're having surgery first thing in the morning." And so they would have had to cancel that surgery if Wendy hadn't known the protocol. It was a typo. Okay. If Wendy had not known the protocol, not to eat anything, take anything by mouth after midnight, right? Or food before that, but no water, no even liquid after midnight, she would have been canceled. The surgery would have been canceled and it would have killed her. Right? Hey, Suze B. Hey, Sandra. So the next morning, they went into surgery. And when they did the incision, they still couldn't find out what was wrong. When they did when they opened the incision, her internal organs went boop, up out of the incision. They like mushroomed up out. And the doctor was like, "Holy crap." Because that cyst that had been pinching off my sister's bowel tighter and tighter and tighter was 12 pounds. 12 pounds. Now, the reason I'm telling you all this is what they did is they got rid of that cyst and they put her on stool softeners and all those things, hoping her her large intestine would repair itself. Okay? But what happens is when something is damaged for that long, it builds up kind of scar tissue. Now, my sister has diverticulitis. This is something that killed my mother. Well, long story short, my mother's bowel ruptured and all of it went into her abdominal cavity, giving her massive blood poisoning, and that's what killed her. My family has bowel issues. I'm lucky. The only bowel issues I have is occasional irritable bowel syndrome, which I control with seasonal eating, and hemorrhoids, which I control with lots of fiber and fruit. But when they took it out, they didn't want, they had some discussion whether they were going to cut out that section of her bowel because it had been crimped for so long and it was almost necrotic, right? But they said, let's see if the blood, if the blood will let it pink up. We don't want to do any more trauma to her right now. That kind of surgery would be a trauma right now, right? But over the years, now diverticulitis is where you have your bowel. Say it's like a tube or like a vacuum hose almost, right? But the ripples are bigger. And what it is you ever seen a balloon? No, sorry. That's I'm thinking of something of a hernia. Diverticulitis is like a hernia. And what happens is something gets caught in a fold of the bowel. And then every time the stuff moves past it, it pushes and pushes and pushes and pushes and pushes until you now have this pocket in your bowel with stuff in it. And then that's called diverticulitis. You get an attack. And you go through all this bowel pain because your bowel wants to get rid of this crap, but it's tucked. You know what I mean? My dad had Crohn's colitis. Yeah. Right. So it's been a long story explaining all this. Where her bowel was injured in the original damage that they said, well, let's just see if it pinks up by itself, which it did. But that crimp in her bowel has always led to really bad diverticulitis attacks, Crohn's attacks, and all kinds of stuff. Actually had my bowels hit the ceiling of the operating room when they opened me up. No, they didn't. Sorry. No, they didn't win. I'm sorry. They didn't. They went poof like that. Anyway, so now Wendy's got to have, she's got this blood thickening cancer, and she's got to have blood transfusions once a month for the next year. And they also want to do surgery on that part of her bowel to get rid of the part that keeps jamming her up. Because every time she gets jammed up, she gets more sick than the time before, right? So that's what's going on. That's what's going on. Cancer and bowel issues, and it's a repeating thing in my family. It seems to be. Touch wood, it's not my thing. But I have a friend in Nova Scotia that almost died because they could not find out it was Crohn's. Yeah, my dad had Crohn's. My mom had diverticulitis. I'm really lucky. I have irritable bowels. I'm soon going to be able to start eating salads again without it irritating my gut. And seasonal eating makes a big difference. Seasonal eating. Mostly with what I choose for roughage. In the wintertime, we eat root vegetables, a lot of root vegetables, and celery and pepper and onions, but onions are also, but potatoes, carrots, turnips, and we have celery and onions and peppers for flair, right? But in the summertime, when, things are doing really well, like things are growing really well and everything's in season, I'd like to try green juice again this year. Oh, I can't wait to have a chicken Caesar salad. If I ate a chicken Caesar salad today, I would be in agony with my bowels for until tomorrow. I If I ate a chicken Caesar salad right now, my bowels, and I'm no word of a lie, because I've had gastric bypass, it happens this fast. If I ate a chicken Caesar salad right now, I would in about an hour start getting massive gas pains, and about within 6 hours, I would be expelling lettuce. No word of a lie, because it's like my body's like, get rid of it, get rid of it, get rid of it, right? Hey, Amir, how's it going? It doesn't like you, really. Garlic's really, really good for you. Anyway, so, yeah, we're in transition now, guys. My whole world is getting transition. I've started to undecorate that tree so I can take it into the other room. I have to get off here actually right shortly so I can get some work done. Starting with pulling down or getting this tree out of here, moving my craft table in my room. And I had gastric bypass in 2005. I was 415 pounds. I have a picture somewhere of me at 415 pounds just before the gastric bypass. And I went down to 247 pounds, got a full-time job and in a bakery. And all of a sudden my ovaries got sick. And I stopped losing weight. See, what happens is when you have gastric bypass, okay, and it is not something to be trifled with. 2% of the people who have that procedure die from the procedure. Okay, that is nothing to be messed with. Nothing to be messed with. Okay. Hey, Bob Brink. Hey, Laura Sup. Hey, Jack. Oh, you'll get there, Jazzy. So take care, Wendy. I love you. God bless. So, I'm listening to the red-winged blackbirds. I'm sorry. I just love the sound of them. Okay, Mary Jo. So yeah, everything's in transition right now. You can expect no regularly scheduled streams. As a matter of fact, when I do my Patreon live stream shortly, I'm going to be going live while I'm tearing stuff down. So I had the lap band done years ago, nothing but problems. Well, I have a bird clock. I haven't changed the batteries in a long time. I had a Roux-en-Y gastric bypass. Now, here's a cautionary tale. I may be wrong. Do your research. But Sherry Harris Holcamp, our friend from Two Family Homestead, she had a gastric sleeve done. I think it's the same as the band, isn't it? And then she went to have a revision surgery, and they did a Roux-en-Y. And after that, she couldn't hold down food at all. She had to keep going to the hospital. She kept having to have feeding tubes put in, and she lost so much weight and so much muscle mass that she couldn't walk anymore. And she eventually died. God rest your soul, Sherry. So whenever I think about having a revision, I'm really, really lucky. I'm really, really lucky. I got sick, and then I gained some weight back. I'm presently sitting at about 327 pounds, little less than 100 pounds lighter than I was when I had my gastric bypass. But the fact that for the last year, my weight has been stabilizing and staying stable. And it's because I've, just the way things are, the way I've figured out how to do things for myself. And how did it go, Carol? Okay, Jazzy. Yeah. Well, there you go, right? So I'm almost 100 pounds down. But there's another thing too, right? Is that studio, that room is huge. And I want to be able to put in my rebounder and all kinds of stuff. But it's going to take time and we're going to be busy, busy, busy switching from here to there. So, again, I warn you, if you get a fully scheduled video, like you probably get one tomorrow because I did a walkabout and showed, what we got to do for spring cleanup. And but they'll mostly be lives and stuff. I have leeks to replant. I have all kinds of fabric to go through, fabric to cut, starting another quilt. I got to get working on Mikey's and then Briar's. Mikey is my nephew and his quilt that I first made him when he was 15. And you got to know this. Mikey's 50 years old or 49 years old. Somewhere around there. And that was his first quilt and he gave it back to me to redo. And that's going to be a project because it's a really old first quilt, okay? One of the very first ones I ever made, tied quilt, and it's fallen to pieces. And there's stretchy fabric and all kinds of stuff in there. I'm going to try and recover some of the fabric and recover his quilt. So I have a lot of things coming up on top of gardening and all that stuff. So I hope you guys just hang with me and stay with me as I go through all these transitions and things I have to do. This year is not going to be your regularly scheduled YouTube or half-acre homestead. Yes, there's planting, there's gardening, there's going to be sewing, there's going to be lots of tied quilts because I got a lot of work to do. We're going to paint this, we're going to strip this room, we're going to paint it, I'm going to make it my bedroom, and yes, I'll show it to you when it's done, right? And then that room is going to be everything I need it to be, right? Instead of, like, remember I wanted to make the living room downstairs? Yeah, no, the living room downstairs. No, I can't use it. So, not to change the subject, but I know that one of y'all will know the answer. How do you get smells out of glass jars I'm repurposing? Soak them in bleach. Soak them in, put a little bit of bleach, fill it with, and boiling water. Remember what I said about the beefy bacon burger? No, I don't remember that. So, it's official. I'm letting you know here and now, our half-acre homestead will be our half-acre homestead in transition. Okay? So, I love you guys. I got to go. I got a crap ton of work to do. This, I don't know if this is going to be your last live stream in here. Probably not. But behind me is going to be a whole other ball game. Because I got to stay in here until Howie can move my desk and then get all the wiring to go through the wall. And I think I'm going to keep this shelf. I'm just going to put a ruffle around it just to kind of hide it. Right? Howie's got to go through the wall with all the wiring and stuff. Don't eat at your desk. Oh, right. I love you guys. Take care. God bless. Thanks for listening to me. I have to go move my craft table, clear it off, move it, and start moving stuff out of here. All right. I love you guys. Take care. God bless. Mwah! Oh, but not before I do a reading. We're going to go over to reading with Beverly Wolfe because I am trying to keep my income up. And if I'm not sending out valuable videos every day, I'm relying on you guys watching old videos or watching my live streams. So I appreciate it. This is going to be a very expensive transition for me, not because it's going to cost me a lot of money, but it's going to cost me in views. It's going to cost me because I'm not going to be able to get as much work done, right? I've been building you guys up to this all winter long, right? These happy golden years in 10 minutes on Reading with Beverly Wolfe. I love you guys. Take care. God bless. It's going to be a busy day. It's a good day for having some fun. Mwah! Take care. God bless.